So today we are going to learn ETL testing introduction. So today's topic is on introduction to ETL testing. So ETL testing is all about extract, transform, and load testing. ETL testing is all about extract, transform, and load testing. Here, we will extract the data. From the source system. Source system means it can be an Excel file, XML file, an Excel file, a database, a file. These are the things which can be a source. Source can be an XML, Excel, database, a file from where we are going to extract the data. And after extracting the data, we will transform the data. Transform the data means change the data as per the business logic. So we are going to transform the data, or the data will get transformed as per the business logic. First we'll extract the data is extracted, then it is transformed. It is transformed as per the business logic, and then what will happen, it will get loaded. So that's why its name is extract, transform, and load. First extract the data, then transform and change the data, then load the data. So that is why it is called as load the data. Put the, or we'll directly write load the data in the target system. So this is again, you have to understand what is source, what is target. Source is suppose a database from where we have taken the data, and data has got transformed. Suppose the name of a person was suppose his name is David. Now David everything is in small case. Now the transformation logic is that David first letter should be capital, and then it should be loaded into the target. Okay, so that is nothing but the extract, and now it is transformed, that first letter is capital, and then it is loaded into the target. The target can be a again, it can be a XML, Excel, can be a database, can be a file. So now the data from the source got transformed, loaded into the target. So this testing from the data from the source after the data has got transformed and loaded into the target is called as ETL testing, because we are the data have got extracted, transformed, loaded, and now this testing of the data is called as ETL testing, because we are going to check the data from the source to the target which has got transformed. So that is why its name is ETL testing. Testing the data from the source to the target after the transformation is called as ETL testing. Now, in this ETL testing, you have now in ETL testing, there are some concepts which we should know, like data where whenever we learn ETL testing, we have to know few things, like we should know manual testing, we should know SQL, we should know Unix, we should know data warehousing concepts, then we can do ETL testing. So ETL testing is a testing where we'll require these things. And in ETL testing, there are two parts: manual ETL testing and automation ETL testing. We learn manual ETL testing; these are required. For automation ETL testing, there's a separate part. Now we are concentrating on ETL testing manually. So the few things required to do ETL testing manual is: first, we require manual testing SQL, Unix, data warehousing concepts. We will also require an ETL tool like Informatica. So Informatica is again an ETL tool which is used to do the ETL process, the ETL mechanism to take the data from the source, transform it, load it. So we'll use a tool called as ETL tool. We are going to learn Informatica, but there are other tools like Abnisho. There is other tools like IBM Data Stage. There's other tool like SQL Server Integration Services. Short form is SSIS. So these are all nothing but ETL tools which are used to do the ETL process, ETL mechanism. So there are two parts in this. So in ETL development and ETL testing, ETL developers will develop the ETL mechanism, and we will test that the data from the source to target has been loaded properly or not. Now, when we learn ETL testing, so there are after doing the ETL testing, there is something called as report testing. So part A is what we will test the we'll do the ETL testing, and part B is what we'll do the report testing. So report testing is done using the reporting tools, like there is something called as Cognos, which is an ETL, which is a reporting tool. There's something called as SSRS, SQL Server Reporting Services. This is again a ETL tool. There is something called as MicroStrategy. That is again a ETL testing tool. That is something called as OBI. This is again a report testing tool. So all these are report testing tool: Cognos, SSRS, MicroStrategy, OBI. So these are what report testing tools. Means the reports will be generated using this. Tableau is again a report testing tool. So what will happen? Using this report testing tools, reports will be generated. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So we are going as an ETL tester and a report tester uh, when a report is generated, we are going to test that report. So that is nothing but the part B. Part A is we are going to test data from the source to target, and part B is the data. Once it is tested in the source to target, then we will test the data from the target to the reports. Okay, so the reports which are generated using this report tools. So these are what nothing but the reporting tools. Below are the So these are the reporting tools: Cognos, SSRS, MicroStrategy, OVI, Tableau. So using these reporting tools, what will happen is we will test those reports, the data in the reports, the UI in the report. So those things we will discuss separately: how we test a report and what are the things required to test a report and how we test a report. So that is a separate thing what we are going to discuss. So that is nothing but the report testing.
Sir,
One second, one
report
second.
test. Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are not going to develop the reports. We are just going to test the reports. We are not going to develop the ETL mechanism. We are going to test the data from the data come after the ETL mechanism. So that is why we are in the testing, not into the development. ETL developer, report developers are separate. but ETL testers and report testers are separate. ETL testers will test the data which has gone after the ETL mechanism, and report testers will test the data in the reports. But ETL developers will develop that mechanism. Report developers will develop that mechanism. So that is nothing but the ETL testing and the report testing. Now, after this ETL testing and report testing and the ETL tool, SQL, data warehousing concepts, there are some concepts in the manual testing which should be very, very clear when we talk about ETL testing. I just want to highlight that. First thing is the test plan. Next is the test cases. Next is the test data preparation. Next is the uh, your test execution report, defect report. So this defect report, either using the Excel sheet, that is the defect report template, or using any defect tracking tool like Jira. So these are the defect tracking tools. So defect tracking tools. So these are the defect tracking tools like Jira, Bugzilla, Mantis, Bugnet. These are the defect tracking tool which can be used to track the defect, log the defect, and also using one more tool, ALM, which is a test management tool, but it is also used as a defect tracking tool also. Or using simple Excel bug report also, we can log the defect. So these are the manual testing concepts which a person should know while doing ETL testing. So first is that you should know the test plan, you should know the test cases, you should know the test data preparation, you should know the test execution report, defect report. All these things should be very, very clear. Next part, this is if I divide ETL testing into part A, part one. Part two, he should know the SQL. In the SQL, if I divide the syllabus, so what I can do tell in the SQL, person should know DDL, data definition language. Then he should know DML, data manipulation language. Then he should know DQL, data query language or data retrieval language. Then he should know TCL, transaction control language. And also he should know DQL, data query language. And after all these things, there are some analytical functions like rank, dense rank, row num, okay, lead, lag. All these things should be known when we will discuss the SQL concepts in detail. As of now, I am just telling that these are the SQL syllabus. So which should a person know when doing ETL testing, like data definition language. So which consists of create, alter, rename, drop, and truncate. If I tell DML, there's something called as what? Insert, update, delete. Data query language, data retrieval language, that is nothing but this select. TCL. So there is something called as this is not DQL, this is data control language, DCL. Okay. So now if I tell you, we have something called as TCL, transaction control language. Okay. So now this is also this is actually used by the not by the ETL tester, because transaction control language will not be used by us actually, like commit, rollback, and save point. But sometimes we need to use if it is not getting committed by itself. So again, we'll discuss that in detail, all these things. But as of now, I'm just writing TCL is commit, rollback, and save point. TCL is grant and revoke. So these are the things we will learn in the SQL. These are the things we'll learn in manual and in the Unix. There's some Unix commands we have to know. So those commands we will discuss separately, like cut is there, move is there, rename is there. So all those things, commands, separate list will be given to you. So that will be under Unix. Data warehousing concepts will consist of data modeling, which consists of Snowflake, star schema, galaxy schema. Then we will talk about SCD type 1, 2, and 3. This is slowly changing dimension type 1, 2, and 3. Then we will learn something called as initial and incremental load. And they are testing all this SCD type 1, 2, 3, and they're testing initial and incremental load, and they're testing star schema, Snowflake schema, galaxy schema, all these things, how the data modeling is done, how, what is a fact table, what is a dimension table, types of fact and dimension table, okay, and then transformations, all the kind of transformation we will learn, like aggregate transformation, like expression transformation, like filter transformation, shorter transformation, router transformation, sequence generation transformation. So all these are transformation we will learn while we will learn the ETL testing. Today is the introductory class. I have told about the transformations, the Unix command, the SQL, the manual testing, all these things I have discussed. What is ETL testing? We are extracting data from the source. After data gets transformed, loaded into the target, we are testing that transform data from the source to target. That is nothing but the ETL testing. In report testing, the reports are generated using the report tools, which is the tools can be cognized as a SRS, MicroStrategy, OBI, Tableau, etc. And we are going to test this report. So if I divide the testing, those testing will be divided as an ETL tester. Testing will be divided into ETL and reporting tester. If we tell as an ETL tester, that means he should know ETL testing and report testing. So testing will be divided into two parts. First is from source to target, and next is from target to the reports. So this is the basic things which I have told you. What are the things required in SQL? What are the things required in Unix? Data warehousing concept, transformations, all these things we will learn in this ETL testing course, which will be very, very simple and easy to learn. All the documents will be provided, everything neatly will be taught, and you will enjoy this session.